we are continuing with our exponents, okay? Today we're going to do a combination of two exponent laws which relate to one another. So it's not going to be too much of a stretch to learn both of them at the same time, okay? So the first one is the distributive law of exponents. I'm going to zoom in a bit for people who might be on their phones and might need to see better. There we go. So it's the distributive law of exponents. Law number 3. Remember, law number 1 was when we were multiplying powers and we had to add exponents. Law number 2 was dividing powers and we subtracted exponents. And now we're on law number 3, which is power to a power. And it means exactly that. If you have a power. Okay, let me disable annotation to avoid our problems. There we go. 1 second, 1 second, 1 second. There we go. Okay. So power to a power means exactly that. You take a power and you raise it to another power. And in that case, you will be multiplying my exponents. So if I have x to the power of a and I raise it to another power of b, I will then multiply my exponent. So before we go there, guys, hold your horses. I'm getting there. If I have a 3 squared and I raise it all to the power of 4, I will then take these two exponents and multiply them. So it'll be 2 times 4, which is 3 to the power of 8. Okay, that's literally all it means. So I see some people have already answered number A for me. Okay, so this will then be x to the power of 2 times 3, which is x to the power of Simtandile and Mamalu and Teboho have already answered me. X to the power of 6. That's quite simply what we do, okay? The next one, which is number B, is x to the power of 2 times 5. Thank you, Spamantla, which will give us x to the power of 10. Relatively easy, right? I think you can change your own name. You're allowed to. Go to settings and change your name so that I can refer anyone who is not their actual name, who might have joined with someone else's laptop. You're welcome to change your own name, guys, so that I can refer to you as your actual name, with your actual name. Okay, and number C, we just happen to have a number in front. Is that number affected at all by the power? Is the number affected at all by the exponent? No. So this 2 will remain just a 2, and it'll be x to the power of 3 times 2, which means then that my final answer is 2x to the power of 6. So thumbs up, thumbs down. Quickly, do we understand the first part of today's lesson? Or the step 1. Let me say step 1. Because we will be expanding on this law from here on. So it's important for you guys to understand this. Okay. Beautiful. Okay. Now, law 4 is just an extension of law number 3. In this case, it's okay, Leachilwe, welcome. In this case, we have more than one base, more than one power, if I should say. So we have x to the power of a times y to the power of b. So now this is where the word distribution comes in. Remember, distributing means everyone gets the exponent. Okay, so you'll take the exponents on the outside and distribute it, and then apply law number 3, which is to multiply your exponents, which is exactly what happened here. We took C, distributed it, and then everyone got multiplied by then. So if you have 2 squared times 3 squared, or raised to the power of 5, you will then have 2 to the power of 2 times 5, and 3 to the power of 2 times 5. And then my answer will be 2 to the power of 10 times 3 to the power of 10. Okay, So this is just an extension of law number 3. Now let's do the first one. Let's do the first one. This will be number D. Pretty sure it's number D. So this will then be distributing my exponent of 3 to x and y, which means it will be x to the power of 2 times 3 and y to the power of, if there's no exponents then what is my exponent? If there's no exponents, then what is my exponent? 1. So it'll be 1 times 3. And then my final answer will then be x to the power of 6 times y to the power of 3, all cubed. Okay, you must learn that vocabulary. Nope. Quick vocab lesson. If it's to the power of 2, you can just say squared. And to the power of 3, you can just say cubed. Wonderful. All right. Now, this law does not... Actually, let me ask you. If I have x to the power of a plus y to the power of b or raised to the power of c, can I apply the law of distribution? Is it possible for me to apply the law of distribution in this case? So I'm over here now. Do you guys think I can take the c and distribute it to the x and to the y? No. Okay. So this law only works. I should probably write no there in case someone writes it. All right. You are not allowed to do that. This law only works for multiplication and division. Okay, make that note. It's okay, Spamantha, you're here to learn after all, right? So this law will only work for multiplication and division. So if you're multiplying and dividing inside your brackets, then you may distribute the exponents. But if you are adding or subtracting, you are not allowed to distribute my exponent. So with that being said, number E is an example of when you would use it while dividing. Okay, A divided by B or raised to the power of 4. This will be A to the power of 1 times 4 divided by B to the power of 1 times 4, which means my final answer will then be A to the power of 4 over B to the power of 4. All right. I hope I made sense with that one. So let me do this and zoom out a little bit so you guys can screenshot. Always remember it only works for multiplication and division. Let me start here. There we go, Spamandla, that is correct. All right. Let us continue. EF. Okay, how many different bases do we have inside of F, inside the bracket for F? How many different bases do we have in this case? 3. Is 2 not a base? Is the number 2 not a base? It is. So how many bases do we have, guys? We have 4. Okay, so my 3 will be distributed 4 times. So then I will have 2 to the power of 3 times x to the power of 2 times 3 times y to the power of 2 times 3 times z to the power of 1 times 3. Okay, now I'm going to simplify all those exponents first. X to the power of 6, y to the power of 6, z to the power of 3. Am I done with this question? Have I simplified fully? No. What do I still have to do? What do I still have to do for this question? Anyone? Highest common factor? No. That only works for numbers in front, so coefficients. So in this case, we only have one coefficient. How do I simplify it, Tebogo? Which part exactly am I going to simplify here? Isn't the 2 with the x? So this whole expression, Kali, is 2 times x squared times y squared times z. So they're all together. They're all one expression, okay? Nice, guys. We have to simplify the 2. So how much is 2 cubed? How much is 2 cubed? 8 to the power of, nope, 8 times x to the power of 6, y to the power of 6, and z, which is so funny looking for some reason, z to the power of 3. Okay. But these are all just one term. They are not separated. What separates terms? Do we remember? Pretty sure we did it last year. Well, you did it last year in grade 8 and grade 7. What separates terms? If I say there's only one term inside this bracket, nice, Roliboa, a positive and a negative. So in this case, we only have one term because everything in here is multiplication. Okay. My voice is leaving. Well, it's trying to leave. Okay, number G. Where do we start with number G? Where do you think we should start with number G? Don't be shy. Roliboa says distribution, and so does Tebogo. I'm pretty sure the exponent means distribution, so does Pamandla. And Matibaran gives me what I'm looking for. We are forgetting our magic rule, guys. If you can simplify inside the bracket first, do it. All right. Bedmass say we always start with brackets. Can you see that brackets comes before exponents? So brackets will always come first. We must look inside the bracket. Is there anything inside the bracket that we can simplify? And in this case, the answer is yes. We can simplify first what is in the bracket. Where do we start first? 2 and 4. Is there a common factor there by 2 and 4? Yes. What's my common factor? 2. It goes into itself once and into 4 twice. Nice. Okay. So we have a 1 at the top and a 2 at the bottom. Now what's happening here with the variables? We have x, x, y, y, and we are dividing. So what do we do with my exponents when we are dividing? This was our previous lesson. Second law of exponents. We subtract. Thank you, Zanande. We subtract. Remember, Simtandile, adding is for multiplying. But in this case, we are dividing. So we will be subtracting my exponents. So I will start with x to the power of 2 minus what? My line is going sideways. I don't understand. Yes, x to the power of 2 minus 1 and y to the power of 3 minus. We're doing the y's now. 1. And this is all raised to the power of 2. All right, let me simplify quickly so we can work with it. So at the top, we have an x, a y squared, and a 2 at the bottom. Now we can work with my exponent and distribute it. Okay. In case someone is wondering, this one was just multiplied with everything. So it's 1 times x times that, which is just xy squared. So now remember, I can distribute at the top, but I must also distribute to the bottom. Okay, so then I'll be left with x to the power of 1 times 2. Y to the power of what times what? Y to the power of what times what? 2 times 2. Thank you, Jason. And the same with 2 to the power of what times what with 2? Just squared, so it's 1 times 2. So then my final answer will be x, y to the power of 4 over 2 squared. Am I done with my question? Have I simplified this fully? No. As we know, you always simplify numbers. So then this will be y to the power of 4 over, what's 2 squared? This is all over what? 4. Thank you. Okay. This is more realistic about what to expect in exams, which are closer than you think, guys. Closer than you think. Motebang, I see you have a question. Yes, Motebang.
Ma'am, isn't x supposed to have the exponent of 2?
It is. Thank you, because it's 1 times 2. Thank you very much, Motebang. There we go. Better? Hopefully. Yes, Pamandla?
So if we do it by math, would you get the same answer if you were raising the power for all of the numbers?
Yes, you will get the same answer. My problem, Motebang, is if you get into that habit, you will struggle with this question. You see what I mean? Is Pamandla there? Excuse me. Is Pamandla, are you there? Oh, okay. Pamandla saw my point. But guys, I want you to get into the habit of simplifying what's inside the bracket first. If you get used to distributing first, do you see that you will get stuck in a question like this? Because I just said you cannot distribute when there's a plus or a minus. But if you are in the habit of first doing inside the brackets, then you will realize that you can actually add these guys, right? And it's going to give you 6x, which then means you can continue, unlike being stuck in step 1. So I want to avoid that. Get into the habit first of simplifying what's inside the brackets. All right. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, where do we start again with this one? GH. Where do we start with this one? Brackets. We start inside my brackets because we can simplify something inside my brackets. Okay, so I'm going to write my 3 outside because we're doing nothing with it. And inside my brackets, since I am dividing, we are going to do what with my exponents? Subtract. So it'll be x to the power of 1 minus 1, y to the power of 2 minus 1, and then just z all raised to the power of 2. Remember, if there's no exponent there, there is a 1. Okay, so this will be equals 3 times x to the power of 0, yz squared. Are we done simplifying inside the bracket? No, what's left? What else can we simplify inside the bracket? X to the power of 0. Beautiful. And x to the power of 0 is equal to 1. So this will be 1 times yz, which means it's just yz squared. All right. Now we have done inside the brackets. What's next? What's after brackets? After brackets, we have exponents. So I put my 3 over there, and then I raise y to the power of, if I distribute my exponents, it will end up being y to the power of what? Y squared and z to the power of 2. Nice, guys. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And then the song came to mind after I said that 3 times. If you know the song, you know it. Okay, that was H. Let's move on to I. Okay, we have a few operations over here. Is there anything inside my bracket that I can simplify if you look? Anything inside my brackets that I can simplify? Simtandile says yes. What can I simplify inside my brackets? There's only one set of brackets and they're over here. Is there anything inside of those that I can simplify? Look carefully. No, it's just negative 3x cubed y. Okay, there's no multiplication inside, there's no addition, there's no subtraction, there's nothing. So that bracket cannot be simplified. So we move on to exponents. Is there something we can do with exponents? Yes, which is distributes my 2 that is outside, okay? And I drew with 3 arrows because there are 3 bases over there. So it's 2x to the power of 5. I'm just going to leave this here until we need it, okay? Times, so negative 3 has to be squared. X has to get the exponent of 2, and so does y times 2. Then we simplify quickly. What is negative 3 squared? Excuse me, negative 3 squared. It is positive 9. If anyone is doubtful about that, raise your hand and we'll talk about it, okay? And then it's x to the power of x to the power of 6 and y to the power of 2. All right. Now we have numbers and variables. We go back to our symbols, numbers, variables. Both are positive, so I will have a positive answer. What is 2 times 9? 18. And if we are multiplying, what do we do with my exponents? We add them. So it'll be x to the power of 5 plus 6 and y squared. So then my final answer, thank you, Roa, is 18. X to the power of 11, y squared. Okay. Screenshotters, I hope you're done. People who are finishing off writing, I'm giving you a few seconds to finish off. If I am going too fast, guys, remember you're allowed to stop me and say I should slow down a little bit, and I will do so. Okay. But you guys know all the answers. That's why I'm going so fast. You guys are just... Okay, let's move on to the next one, which is J. Okay, inside my brackets, is there anything that I can simplify? I almost said expand. Is there anything that I can simplify inside the brackets? Yes, there is. What is that I can simplify? This time, yes. All right, let's see. What can I simplify? Let's start with my numerator. Is there anything I can do with my numerator? Add bases. Okay, I understand what you mean. I understand what you mean. What's x squared plus x squared? X squared plus X squared. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, guys. It's 2x squared over x squared times x squared. What's x squared times x squared? We are multiplying, so what do we do with my exponents? We add them. Thank you. So it's x to the power of 4. Whoop. All squared. Are we done simplifying inside the bracket? You guys say we're done simplifying inside the bracket? No, we are not. We can still do what? My x's. We have 2 x bases and we are dividing. So we can still do what with my exponents? For the x, what are we doing with my exponents? We're subtracting them. So it's 2 minus 4 all squared. So it's 2x to the power of x to the power of -2 all raised to the 2. Now we work with my exponent that is outside and we distribute. So then it'll give us 2 squared times x to the power of -2 squared. Thank you, Spamandla. You didn't even wait for me to ask. I like it. What's 2 squared? Let's start with the number first. What's 2 squared? 4x to the power of, Spamandla already told us. Let's see. To the power of -4. Okay, for now you can leave it like this, but if you know the law about negative exponents, then you can simplify it even further. Nice, Tebogo. Tebogo knows about my law. This is the same as 4 divided by x to the power of 4. We haven't done that law yet, so if you don't know it, don't panic. Yes, you may, Tlale. Then you may simplify even further. Remember, you must simplify until you cannot work with it anymore. Okay. All right. Let me have is it the brain break after this? Yes, it is. Let me have a final thumbs up, thumbs down about what we have done so far. A thumbs up, thumbs down about what we have done so far. I only have 4 thumbs up. There are 35 of us in here. I need way more thumbs up than that. That's much better. Okay, I see more people are giving me thumbs up. All right. All right. All right. So exciting. Okay, brain break. Does anyone wants to speak to me for my brain break? It's still would you rather. Don't worry, it's not a maths question. There we go, Charlie.
Hi.
Charlie, tell me, would you rather find a tooth or a nail in your food? So it's either one another person's tooth or another person's nail in your food.
Ish. Nail. Nail is better.
Nails, hands touch a lot of things, Charlie, which means there could be stuff under. But
Truth, ma'am, you don't know what they're eating.
this is true. This is true. This is so true, guys. A lot of you are going through it in the chat. I like to see it. It's nice to stress you in ways that are not mathematics. I'm sorry. Nobody else wants to speak to me. There's still no hands. Come on, guys. There we go. Tebogo. Hello.
Hello.
There we go. Okay. Would you rather swim in a pool of milk or a pool of Coke?
A pool of Coke.
You're gonna be so sticky.
No, it's so sweet.
Do you know that acid will burn your eyes, my dear?
No, I don't know.
Please don't swim in a pool of Coke.
Okay.
Why? What's wrong with milk, guys? Ah, come on, guys. Okay, I see some people said milk. A few people said milk. Milk will also make you stink. That is true. This is true, but you will be very sticky if you swim in Coke. Next one, would you rather be transformed into Shrek or the Beast from Beauty and the Beast? So you either, if you wake up tomorrow, do you want to wake up as Shrek or the Beast? I actually choose Shrek as well, guys. I would actually choose Shrek. I'm surprised so many more people say Shrek. Wow. Guys, imagine the hair on the beast. He probably sheds all the hair on your bed, everywhere. And he's huge. Kali, please think about what you will look like for 2 minutes if you shave all that hair off. Wow. Okay, let's go to the last one. Would you rather spend a night in a coffin underground or in a haunted, abandoned hotel? Haunted, abandoned hotel or in a coffin underground? So many people choosing hotel, guys. Guys, ghosts are where I draw the line for me. I'm sorry. I can deal with a lot of stuff, but ghosts are not one of them. Very sorry. I would rather go in the coffin, guys. Yes, yes, yes. You can invite your friends to come chill with you. I cannot stand ghosts. I can watch anything that has nothing to do with supernatural. That is my limit. I mm-mm. Okay, guys, let's have a sip of our water. You know, I have some more interesting questions for us. Spice up our day. Have a sip of water. Let me go check my numbering. This is number K. Wow, you guys are going fast. You've done 10 questions already. This is number 11. That is beautiful because I have more interesting questions for us. Okay. Right, are we ready? Are we ready? Yebo, wonderful. Okay, let's get going. Now, brackets. We have a set of brackets, but is there anything inside the brackets that we can simplify? Anything inside my brackets that I can simplify? No, inside. There's nothing we can do inside, right? So let's move on to exponents. Let's go move on to exponents. Anything I can do exponent-wise in this question? Anything we can do exponent-wise in this question? Yes. Multiply says multiply. Exponents is before multiply. Which exponent am I talking about? The one in the numerator. Can you see that there's a distribution there? Beep, beep, beep. Okay, let's distribute. So this is -2 cubed, x cubed, and y to the power of what? Y to the power of? We're in my numerator. 9. Thank you very much. The 3 times 3 is 9. Thank you, Mutebang. 4xy to the power of 4 times 2x squared y 5. I might have said this already, but I'm reiterating. You rewrite the rest of the question even if you're doing nothing with it, okay? Avoid doing questions in bits and pieces. So what is negative 2 cubed? What's negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2? Thank you, Matemang. It's negative 8. All over 4x y to the power of 4 times 2x squared y 5. Nice. Now where do I go? If this was you in a test, where would you go next? I'm done with exponents. So where do you guys propose I go next? Denominator, thank you. That would be the easiest, isn't it? 8x cubed y to the power of 9. Divided by, let us multiply, okay? Symbols, they're both positive. So we know we're going to have a positive answer. 4 times 2, that's the numbers part. We've dealt with symbols, let's go to the numbers. 4 times 2 is 8. And since we are multiplying, what do we do with my exponents again? We add them. Thank you very much, Simtandile. Okay, we have x's and we have y's. X to the power of what? Remember, we are adding our exponents because we are multiplying. 3 and y to the power of y to the power of. Remember, we're adding exponents. This was a 4 and this was a 5. So it's y to the power of. There we go. Thank you. 9. All right, we're done with our numerator. We're done with our denominator. There's really only one thing left to do right now, which is the division. And I'm going to do it on the side here. Just going to draw a line to distinguish the start from the end of this question. Okay. Equals. Start with symbols. A negative and a positive. My numerator is negative, my denominator is positive, so my answer will be negative. Thank you, Jason. 8 divided by 8. And 8 divided by 8 is a 1. Okay. Then it's x to the power of what minus what? Three minus 3 and y to the power of 9 minus 9. This will then give us negative 1 times x to the power of 0 and y to the power of 0. Both of those powers to the 0 will give me what? 1. So it's negative 1 times 1 times 1. So then my final answer, negative 1. So simple, guys. Can you imagine this whole complicated sum just goes down to negative 1? Impressive. Beautiful sum. Okay. Let's move on to number L. Nothing inside my brackets, so let us distribute my 2. So I'm going to take this guy, distribute. So then, in my numerator, I will have x to the power of negative 3 times 2, y to the power of 5 times 2, over x cubed, y to the power of negative 6. What's negative 3 times 2? Negative 3 times 2, negative 6, thank you. And y to the power of 10. Nice. Over x cubed, y to the negative 6. Now we are dividing, so we do what with my exponents? we subtract. Okay, so I'm going to have x to the power of -6 minus 3 and y to the power of 10 minus -6 equals. Okay, what's going to happen here with this situation? Minus and minus. What's going to happen there? It's going to be a positive, right? So then x is to the power of -6 minus 3 is -9. And that is y to the power of, what's 10 plus 6? Let me write here with a red pen in case someone gets confused. It is 16. And then for those of you who like the rule of no negative exponents, my final answer will then be y to the power of 16 over x to the power of 9. That was beautiful as well. There we go. Okay. Of course, I'm going to have another interesting one for us. That was number L. Let's do number M. All right. Is there anything inside my brackets that I can simplify here? Okay, I'm going to move this guy down because we're going to need space for this one. Yes, what is it that we can simplify? Okay, let's start with my numerator. Let's start with my numerator. Thank you. Numerator. Multiplying the numerator, right? Equals. They're both positive, so my answer is going to be positive, and 2 times 4 is what? Is 8. And then my A's, I am multiplying, so we do what with the exponents? We add them. Thank you, Teboho. So it's a to the power of 5. That's my numerator all done. Over. 8 is not affected by this 2, so I'm just going to rewrite it. But a to the power of -3 is also raised to the power of 2. So if I do what with my exponents, am I adding or am I multiplying those exponents? -3 and 2. I am multiplying. So then a is to the power of what? -6. Beautiful. All raised to the power of 2. Okay, we're still inside the brackets. Now we have one term, one term. What's 8 divided by 8? 1. Isn't it positive? Which one, Seth? Remember, it's -3 times 2, not -3 squared. If it was -3 squared, then yes, it would be positive. But in this case, we're just multiplying. So it's a negative and a positive give you a negative. Okay, thank you for your question. I hope I have clarified. So this is 1. And then it's going to be times a to the power of 5 minus -6. This is all still raised to the power of 2. Again, we have this negative situation, which becomes a positive. So it's going to be a to the power of 11 to the power of 2. And now what do we do with our final exponents? We multiply them, so it'll be a to the power of 11 times 2, and my final answer is a to the power of 22. Nice. Perhaps zoom out a little bit. Again, there. Can take a nice full screenshot of this question. Okay. Wonderful, 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 wonderful. We still have 1, 2. Okay, I think that other one can be our cool off, ne? This one can be to cool off our brains. Let's do this one first. When you work out, you must always have a cool off session. Okay, so this was M. Let's move on to N. I should probably zoom in so you guys can see nicely on your cell phones as well. Okay, Let's see here. Anything inside brackets that we can simplify? Anything inside my brackets that I can simplify? No. So we move on to exponents. There are a lot of exponents that we're distributing here. So let me get going. -3 is on its own, right? So we're going to have a to the power of -1 times -3, b to the power of 2 times -3, and that is the end of the first one, times a to the power of 1 times -5, same with b to the power of 1 times -5. That is my numerator all done. Let's see if I can draw a straight line. I probably cannot, but let's have my best attempt at a straight line here. It was going well until it wasn't. Okay, now we're at the bottom. This time is the 3 part of the exponents. Is a 3 involved in my exponents in my denominator? Yes, it is. Okay, it's inside my bracket, which means it also gets an exponent of 2. So then I'm going to have -3. Okay, I don't know what's going on there. -3 squared and b to the power of -5 times 2. Now, let's simplify all these exponents. -3. Inside my bracket, what's -1 times -3? It's a to the power of +3 and b to the power of -6 times a to the power of -5 and also b to the power of -5 all over -3 squared is how much? -3 squared is 9. +9, and we have b to the power of -10. Whew. Okay, now we have done all the distributions. Now let's work, the denominator has nothing really to do from here on. Let's work in my numerator. The number is alone, so I'm just going to write -3 here. But we do have two bases, which are a and b. Okay, a, if we are multiplying, we add my exponents. So it's going to be a to the power of 3 plus -5 and b to the power of -6 plus -5. What are these positive negatives going to be? These positive negatives are going to make a negative. Thank you. Okay. So this is going to be a negative, and this is going to be a negative. So then I will have, this guy needs to keep moving down lower and lower and lower. And yes, intadile negative. I get it. So it's -3, a to the power of what's 3 minus 5? -2. B to the power of -6 minus 5. B to the power of -6 minus 5. Which 5, my darling? A from here. Over here. Remember, it was 1 times -5, which gave us -5. And then we were adding the exponents. So yes. Thank you, Deboho. It's -11. And this is all over 9b to the power of -10. Now we are on our final step. of subtracting. Let's start with our numbers. A negative and a positive will give you what answer? A negative. 3 goes into itself. How many times? Once, and into 9. 3 times. We're done with the numbers. So I have a 1 over there and I have a 3 at the bottom. Okay. A will be negative 2 minus negative 10. And then I'll have B, negative 11 minus negative 10. Those negatives will give me a what? Both of the negatives negative will give me what type of answer? These guys. Not what type of answer, excuse me. It will be a what? A positive, okay? So that means it will be a to the power of negative 2 plus 10, which is negative 2 plus 10. Let me write them here again in case someone is confused. Negative 2 plus 10 is a positive 8. And B, negative 11 plus 10. Negative 11 plus 10. Negative 1 all over 3. And for my people, it will be negative a to the power of 8 divided by 3b. Woo, that was a beautiful one. That was beautiful. Thumbs up, thumbs down. What did we think about that one? For screenshotters, do you want me to zoom out a bit so you can get more of the question? There we go. Thumbs up, thumbs down with this one. Yes, Pamandla?
Ma'am, for where did you get -1 for B?
What is negative? It was negative 10. This was the question, right?
Yes,
This gives me a positive. Do you agree?
yes.
So what's negative 11 plus 10? You muted yourself. There we go. Let's do this. Yes. Negative 11 plus 10. It's a negative 1. Oh, okay. You understand, I hope. There we go. Beautiful. Okay. It's 5 minutes. I think we can do this for our cool off, guys. Let's do it quickly, quickly, quickly. We've been doing a lot of divide. H-I-J-K-H. Yeah. H. Oh, that's a M. I'm like, how are we back at H? Oh. Let's do this one for cool off quickly. Quickly, quickly, quickly. What is negative 2? This will be negative 3 squared and x squared, right? Times xy squared times a negative 3 squared. Let's start with my exponents. What's negative 3 squared here? So negative 3 all squared will give you that was n, right? So this element O, yeah. 9. And then I write 9. Negative 2 times 9x squared times xy squared. Now what's negative 3 squared? There's a difference between these two guys. This one and this one. What's negative 3 squared? So negative 3 all in brackets squared and negative 3 squared. What's the difference? This one means -3 times -3, which is 9. This one means the negative outside times 3 times 3, which is -9. Nice, guys. So this will be times -9. Now let's go to our symbols. A negative and a positive gives you a negative times a positive. Still a negative times a negative. A positive. So my final answer is positive. 2 times 9. $18 times another 9. Nope. Times 9. Nope. Pretty sure it's 162. 2 times 9 times 9. There we go. 162. It's double of 81. Okay. Now, let's move on to our x's. It will be x to the power of, we have x squared times x. That's x to the power of 3y squared.